my name's Katie Rushworth and I'm here at Ton Garden Centre today eyeing up the plants. Now I've worked on Love Your Garden for 9 years and there are always plants we reliably go back to on the show because we know they're excellent performers. So I wanted to show you some of those today. The first one is this beautiful Salvia. This is Caradonna. It gets this incredible violet coloured flower and it reliably flowers for a good 3 to 4 months of the year. The trick with it is to plant it somewhere sunny and also to deadhead it. So once the flowers are finished flowering, you trim them off and then these side ones will continue to flower. Once they've finished flowering, you cut down to where the next new flowers are forming, trim it off there and they will flower. And again, it will repeat this process. The more you deadhead, the more flowers it will send up. So it should flower all the way to the end of October, beginning of November when the first frosts hit. Another reliable performer, if you plant it somewhere it likes, is Lavender. This one is Hidka, it's one of my favourite varieties. Now if this is planted in the right conditions, it will thrive and reward you with flowers for months and months. It likes sunny conditions and free draining soil, so somewhere that's nice and gritty, nothing like clay that holds onto water, and no shade. The trick to cutting it back in the springtime is to always leave some green on. Never cut back into the bare wood because it will not regrow. Always leave some green on, trim it hard back and you'll keep the bush really neat and compact and it will again flower all summer long. So it's a great plant, really is one of my favourites. Over here are another couple that we use often. This is a shrub, Choicea. Now, choiceas are really tough plants, super reliable. They're also evergreen, so their leaves are like this all year round. They flower sometimes twice, early summer and late summer, and it smells fantastic. So it's really super easy and a great performer. It can get quite big, but the trick is that if it gets too big for its spot, give it a trim, and you trim it immediately after it's finished flowering. And you can be quite tough with it, you know, if it's grown to 2 meters and you want it back to 1 meter, as long as you trim it after it's finished flowering, it will cope and come back thriving. So really super easy, very low maintenance, great shrub. Here we have Geum. Now, Geum are lovely. They come in all different types of colour. This one is a yellow one. You can get orange and red, and they're great for adding really nice movement. Planting in and amongst things where these flowers can kind of come up in and amongst other foliage. It looks really pretty, lovely naturalistic style plant. Again, it can cope with pretty much anything. It will cope with semi-shade, a sunny spot, it will cope with clay and free draining soil. So it's really quite non-fussy. A really reliable performer is the Geum. Over here, there's definitely another 2 favourites of mine. We've got this geranium. Now, geraniums come in all different shapes and sizes. No matter what conditions your garden has, there will be a geranium suited for the purpose and that will thrive and grow amazingly well there. This one is called Pink Poof, and you can see it's got these tiny delicate pink flowers all over it, and it's the semi-evergreen foliage, perfect for ground cover. So if you want something to keep out the weeds that's going to need very little in the way of looking after, a hardy geranium is for you. The other wonderful thing about them is you can get a second flush of flowers out of them. In early summertime, once the first lot of flowers has come up and started to go over, just like this, you would trim the whole thing back by half. It might seem really brutal, but it does work. I use head shears for mine, so I trim the whole thing back to about 1 inch in height and it will re-leaf up, so you'll get lots of new leaves and again flower right into autumn time. So you can get this flowering for a really long extended period of time if you're willing to give it a bit of tough love and cut it back. Then on this table is also Nepeta. This is a glorious plant. Beautiful, similar shade to the lavender, much bushier and much kind of free form in its style. The only thing about it, the only downside is if you have cats, they love it. This is catnip. So they can eat it and roll around on it. And if you're willing for your catmint to look a little bit bedraggled, that's fine. Otherwise, I would only plant it if you don't have cats. But it will reward you like this with blooms all summer and the bees absolutely love it. I hope I've inspired you. But there are lots of other plants to inspire you here too, tons of them. And if you're anything like me, you can never go home empty-handed.